So, I've been going to Anime Central since my sophomore year of high school. It has been my home convention for about 15 years. Yes, I'm old. And when Acen announced last year that they were offering photobooth spaces in the event hall for photographers to purchase and set up shop, I was super excited. It was the first year that they had done something like this. And I am a huge proponent for conventions having an approved photographer list, and this is pretty damn close in my mind. I was a bit afraid of the price because my day job is working in education, and as we all know, that does not pay well. But I decided to apply, and I spent a lot of money on the space and getting everything ready. So how was that experience? Well, it wasn't good. First off, if this is your first time here, hello. My name is Zach Malechek. I am a photographer and videographer located in Chicago, Illinois, and I talk about my hobbies on this channel, which mostly include anime, books, and photography. Welcome to the show. I hope you stick around. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the situation, I want to say that Acen, in the past couple of years, has been making some interesting decisions, to say the least. COVID hit them pretty hard, and it is obvious that they are struggling and want to make as much revenue as possible. With that said, I had a lot of problems with the convention, and I'm not the only one. Now, I am someone who wants to give Anime Central the benefit of the doubt. After all, this is the convention that I have been going to the longest, and I have a lot of very fond memories of. With that being said, this is not going to be a good review. As someone who has a master's degree in writing, one of the things that we are taught is to lead with the good. That way, when you get to the critique, there is a positive note. I can't do that here, and not for a lack of trying. I have tried to spin things in a positive light, and every time I try, I think that it's disingenuous, and if someone decides to work with Acen in this capacity, they will get screwed over, and that is going to be on me. So with that out of the way, let's get this shit show started. The first thing I want to touch on is the fact that Acen dropped this announcement really close to the convention date. If memory serves, I think we had less than 2 months to get approved and get everything sorted for the convention. Now, this might not normally be a big problem for a show and for a vendor that have done a lot of events like this in the past, but most of the people who were applying this time, it was their first time doing a show with this type of setup, myself included. I had to rush to buy the necessary equipment and find a way to make back-end solutions for things like scheduling photo sessions and client delivery. This was a stress-filled nightmare. And on top of that, we weren't allowed to promote ourselves within Acen's audience. Myself and a few friends messaged the admin for Acen because as we kept getting closer, they wanted all photo vendors to take appointments. So I had purchased a whole system to be able to take online appointments, but they were refusing to let us advertise on their social media pages. I think they wanted this to be a walk-up type service, but if that was the case, why did they put in the sign-up that we had to do all of these things, like have appointments available before the convention? It was really weird. One of the things that resulted from the convention not pushing our services was that people did not know we were there, and the people who did couldn't find us. I had a couple of clients I've worked with in the past want to come and see my booth, and the layout they had us in was horrendous, and we had so little foot traffic, it's not even funny. The convention put all of the photo booths in a circle right by the cosplay meetups. Now, to be fair, I can kind of see the logic, but at the same time, my way of thinking is, why would you put the cosplayers who are getting photos for free right next to us and think that they are going to come and give us money when they are getting the same service for free, literally 2 feet away? Now, this location was nightmarish for several other things, but mostly because it was so far out of the way and people kept encroaching on our booth space and the really crowded cosplay meetups were going on. Now, to be fair, we did get some foot traffic. I think it's very hard to say we got absolutely none, but we did get some. But we were so far from the main convention hall, we might as well have not been there. To give you some perspective, The main dealer's hall is in this hall, and then to the right of it, another hall for Artist Alley. Then even further down, you have the lockers that you can rent. Then you have the cosplay meetup spaces and the photo booths in Hall F. Most of the main foot traffic is happening in the dealer's hall and the artist alley. Very few people are coming into our hall. And on top of that, autographs are in the dealer's hall, and panels and the game room are in the hotel, in a completely separate building. So when I say we were placed in probably the worst possible place for business, I truly mean it. Anime Central decided to discount the photo booth spaces, and that was a good thing. But the way they did it left a bad taste in my mouth. They decided to show us the original pricing, and in my opinion, they wanted a ridiculous price for a first-year event. And if we had been told the exact type of layout, I would have called them out to their face because it was not worth their asking price in the slightest. There were several ways that you could get the price discounted, and it was by offering different types of services and doing coverage of the convention during your off hours. I and many others signed up for everything and got the price discounted. And if my memory and my tax records are correct, it came out to a little over $100. Not bad for a first-year experiment, but I think it was a scam. Why do I think that? Because the original asking price that was discounted was going to be over $2,000. And they were even offering discounted advertising space in the guidebook for an additional $2,000. All of this could be reduced by giving more offerings or doing more work for the convention. I want to say this before we go any further. If you are charging almost $4,000 for a space at an event, even if you discount it, I expect there to be at least that amount in sales. Newsflash, there wasn't. I do not know a single photo vendor who made more than a couple $100s at this event. We gave up 3 days. Some people worked 4, and we barely covered the cost. I had to buy a bunch of equipment and software, and that put me in the negative. And that's not even considering that I had people helping me with the booth. Now, it was the first year trying this, and I can understand a slight overestimation. But what I can't get over is the treatment and mismanagement that happened when we were trying to do our part of the contract. So, like I mentioned earlier, Acen wanted us to cover certain events during the convention. These could be voice actor panels, live events, dances, etc. You get the idea. Not a problem. I'm a wedding photographer. You want me to cover an event for an hour? Cool. That's a piece of cake. But a lot of these events were at really ill-opportune times. So if you were covering the masquerade on Saturday, you couldn't be at your booth for like 4 till close. In that time frame, you are potentially losing a ton of business. My experience was a little bit different. I ended up pulling 16-hour days, and I didn't get to see my kids that whole weekend. And this happened because I was going to the convention before they woke up, and I was coming home after they had already gone to bed. That's fine. I chose to do that. But when I am shooting your event, I expect you to communicate to the people in the place that I am shooting at that I will be there doing a job for you. Why do I bring this up? Well, it's because I went to shoot my assigned voice actor panel late at night, talking like 2, 3 in the morning. And I get there, I talk to one of the tech guys, and I start to do my thing. And I get stopped by the panelists and the voice actors, and I'm told I can't be there because I am violating the voice actor's contract and that they could potentially get in trouble. They were very nice. They were very accommodating. I try to explain that I am with Anime Central and this is part of my job. And the guests were told, or correction, the guests were not told that someone would be there doing this for the convention. Once again, I don't blame the voice actors or the people on stage. They were very nice, and I completely understand where they were coming from. They were very wonderful and pleasant to deal with during this whole ordeal, but the main issue is that I could not get a hold of anyone from the convention to clear this up. So I just left. I had shot the formal dance a few hours earlier, so in my eyes, I had attempted to complete all of my obligations. And I just went home for the day. After that, no one contacted me, despite me trying to get this situation resolved. And then in the aftermath, I could not upload any of my files to their servers. Yep, it was going to be that type of day. And it was a nightmare. No one reached out to try and fix anything. So in this whole ordeal, my impression of Acen and their management is in the gutter. I almost forgot. The area that we were in for the booths was not secure. They told us the space would be locked and we could leave our stuff there. And no one would have access. That was a lie because the public lockers were there. And they kept that area unlocked so that people could get in and out of there at any time. Now, me, personally, I am paranoid. So I did not leave my stuff there, and I am glad I did not. I would leave my booth when the convention closed for the day. And then when I got back the next day, before opening, my table was a complete mess. I'm talking chairs thrown everywhere, all my business cards that I had there, plus the setup completely trashed. I can only imagine what would have happened if I had left my gear there. Now, Acen is coming up again soon. We're talking about a month. And I am most definitely not working a photo booth again. And frankly, I don't think I ever will for them. Not anytime soon. A lot of photographers I know have a similar experience, and we all talk because, let's be real, most of us are friends, and I don't think Acen did themselves any favors with that particular crowd. I know they left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are soured to ever working with them again. And this is coming off of some really dumb stunts that they pulled over COVID. So for what used to be the third largest anime convention, this is really disappointing. And I hope that the Acen leadership sees this and makes some changes. Because at the rate this is going, I don't think you are going to have much goodwill left. Before I go, I'm going to offer up some ideas to improve the experience for everyone in the future. And who knows, if I see a change, then maybe I will recommend and even work the convention again. First off, I want to see Anime Central allow vendors to promote on their social media. And I want Anime Central to promote the vendors themselves, and not just a week before the convention or in their brochure. I'm talking about actively promoting the vendors who have paid to be there. Second, lower the price. You are treating these photo booths like premium vendor space when they were clearly not. I don't really care if you discounted the price. You still wanted the illusion that these were worth way more than they were, especially when you still had people working below their day rates for you. Third, find a different space for the photo booths. Honestly, they should be in the main dealer's hall. Have them by the entrance. There is a ton of unused space, and it's a high traffic area that people have to go through no matter what. Fourth, give us a secure location to house our equipment. I do not know why that needs to be said. Fifth, if you want us to cover events for a discount, you need to communicate with the people in that event and tell them that we will be there and that we are doing a job. And you need to also have someone on site in case something goes wrong. Again, I do not know why that needs to be stated. 6, going back to the advertising for a minute, don't make us offer services ahead of time and then do nothing to promote said services that you wanted. And that's it. I'm done. Honestly, this was kind of cathartic. If anyone wants to hear more about Acen 2024, let me know in the comments. I also have a podcast type video that my friend and I did at the event. So that was our live thoughts on the matter. And I'll admit, we were a little more optimistic. So go check that out. Link right up here. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and listening to me rant. I promise I try to be more positive. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I have more anime and cosplay photography content coming. I am also currently taking bookings for photo shoots during Acen on my website if anyone is interested in that. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I will catch you guys later.